The Ticket Machine is the official ticket broker of Spartan Nation. No matter what you need a ticket for, border to border, coast to coast, the Ticket Machine is your ticket source. So whether you need to get into the hottest concerts, the best sporting events, you want the best seats in the house, or you just want to get in the door, when you want to go to any event that requires a ticket, anywhere, border to border, coast to coast, it's always theticketmachine.com. Theticketmachine.com, 517-655-3201. Check it out today at theticketmachine.com.
Okay. Disappointing outcome in the game. I thought that when it was 7-7 with 2:24 left in the third quarter, that we were winning the field position part of the game, even though that we needed to play better on certain aspects, obviously on offense. But then it hit the 80-yarder, pretty much like I said, in the big 4th and 2 quarterback keep. When you really break down the film and you look at the film offensively, we didn't separate well enough at wide receiver position. We're down some people. Obviously, Felton Davis loss hurt us. Got to protect the quarterback more effectively. He was off as well. Got to be able to run the ball more effectively, and we lost field position in the first half and never really regained it. So put our defense in tough situations and on sudden change type situations. But defensively, we played well. Came up with 2 coming out situations. We put the ball around the 50, but we fumbled 1 on special teams. Came up with 2 turnovers. Unfortunate we didn't get the tips for picks, and we missed 1 more opportunity. Otherwise, we're backing into the game. But I thought we punted the ball pretty successfully to keep things going. But reminded our staff that it's been the other way around in the past, and we've got to rally back and we got to get things in order and beat Purdue. So our focus will be about what's next coming. As far as everything prior to the game, really not going to even bother commenting on it. I've never commented on the coach in the past. I'm not going to comment on one now. And the whole thing to me was sort of juvenile, and things going to happen in rivalry games, but sort of stand by what I said yesterday. So I'll take some questions.
Hey, Mark, Matt Wenzel with MLive. As far as I know you mentioned yesterday, it's not like you can take a negative mindset as far as what's in front of you, the challenges, but it's just, with the injuries that have racked up on offense and the lack of production in certain areas, is just developing some sort of continuity? Is this about as hard as you've had during your tenure, just to get consistency out of the group you have with all the pieces consistently changing?
Yeah, it's difficult with our wide receiver situation because they've been in total flux. We lost, Sowers last week, so he was out. He really couldn't practice till Wednesday or Thursday. Felton didn't practice Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday because of his hip. And so we had some guys, working through some different situations, but you can't make excuses in a football game. You got to play with what you got. You got to play it on game day, and they played better than we did certainly on the defensive side of the ball, and they got things going offensively as well. So, we got to be able to play through the pain, I guess.
Mark, this is Hondo. Did Dave Warner come to you at all earlier in the game and suggest putting a backup quarterback in at all?
Yeah, Coach Warner sort of suggested. We talked about when we would do that, but I wanted to stay with Lewerke for one more series. Now, we got the U of M got the ball back with 9-something, and they had a sustained drive that took a lot of time off the clock because he would have been in there earlier in the fourth quarter. But the series before, I wanted to give Ryan Lewerke one more chance at that. But I think the timing was off. But there's a lot of things going into it: protection, down and distance, separation of the that the wide receivers can get on these on the defensive backs, and then certainly concept use. You have to look at that as well. So a lot of things going into it. So you can't really put it on. People want to put it on one person. It's not just on one person. It's on our entire unit. And
Mark,
coaches. Sure, Chris.
I wanted to ask you a little bit more about long term? I mean, do you kind of play it by ear at this point with his shoulder? Who do you prepare? Do you prepare Rocky to be the starter if something happens right now?
I think Rocky got a lot of reps throughout the week, and also Theo Day did. The work he was able to practice, but he was able to practice in a limited role, not throwing. So he did a lot of the work, from a running perspective, but he didn't throw. And I think that this is a situation that gets better over a course of time. So I think even now he's more, as the week progressed, he felt better, and that's why we made the decision, and he made the decision that we would play. I think it's better today than it was yesterday. So we'll have to make the decision as we go.
How much does that change what you could do with him in the run game, in particular?
In this past game?
Yes.
It really didn't change what we did. I thought he had velocity on the football. I just thought he was off. There's some wind conditions. There's some conditions going on out there. I mean, if you look at Patterson, he hit 2 big plays. And he threw some underneath stuff, but it wasn't. There were a lot of things going on from a weather perspective out there too. So it was difficult situations from that perspective. But I thought he had velocity on the football, and I thought he had no pain when he was throwing it. So, that's what I went with.
I'm sorry about that. I meant in using him in option plays on the run with the shoulder.
Oh, yeah, that negated that a little bit. Yes.
Thank you.
Mark, Matt Sharp on the Detroit News. Do you ever worry about confidence with Brian, considering that the offense has been shorthanded and the injury? Does that concern you that confidence gets shaken at this point?
No, I've always believed in him. I've always felt like he's got a great demeanor. I've always said that. He's a confident guy on the field and off the field, and he can roll with things. So if he does have a bad moment, I've always believed that he could respond. I have faith in our other quarterbacks too, but I'm always going to give our guy a chance that is put himself in a situation where he's proven himself, and I think that he's done that for us. So that's the reason I stayed with him. We stayed with him.
Mark, Jim Comparoni, SpartanMag.com. Can you talk a little bit about Michigan State's run defense yesterday, and when you looked at film, how that graded out positively and negatively? I know they probably wore down a little bit being on the field so much, but what did you see when you looked over the film?
Well, again, I thought defensively, in the first half we were playing on the short end of the field, and I thought we did a nice job of, not preventing scores. And then the second half, we started winning the field position battle. We had 2 situations where, these phones are awful, but go ahead. Anyway, we had 2 situations where we forced them to punt from around their, 10-yard line or so, and we got the ball around the 50. Unfortunately, we fumbled one. We later got a fumble on the return end, but it changed the field position back the other way. But from a gap perspective, they ran the, I call it the quarterback avoid a little bit, but the quarterback pull. When he pulled it, they had numbers on one. We tried to fix it, and then he basically, I don't know whether it was a give read. He just pulled it on the 4th and 2, or whether it was a prescribed pull, but we had a defensive end outside in on it. He just got outrun. He closed too tight. As far as inside, we had a couple times where I think, moved the front, and we tried to get out. We moved the front internally with their defensive tackles, and they didn't get the check not to move it. So, but I thought we played firm in there. It was a very physical game. It's a physical game. This game's a physical game. You saw that on both sides of the football, and Michigan played a physical game as well. So, obviously. So, they made plays where they had to make them. 4th and 2, they hit the big 80-yarder. 7-7, like I said, game's even, but I thought we had gained momentum until that 80-yarder.
Hey, Mark, Chris Solari again. I wanted to ask you a little bit about Felton's situation.
About what? This phone keeps breaking up. About what? You'd think in 2018 we'd have phones that would work, but evidently not.
Yeah, with Felton, what's the next step physically for him? What does he have to undergo surgery, or what
Yeah.
will they do with that next?
He'll have surgery. I anticipate him having surgery this week. Yeah. So, and I think it's. I'm not sure whether it's 6 months or a little bit, maybe before that, and he'll get ready for the draft.
So, Mark, Jim Comparoni, SpartanMag.com. We've got our eyes on the wide receivers in the second and third string, some of whom have gotten into the playing group a little bit. Can you talk about C.J. Hayes a little bit? Is he still in the picture? What can you tell us about him? Is there anything you can...
Yeah, C.J. Hayes is coming on. He's had a couple good weeks of practice. He didn't dress this past weekend due to an injury this last week against Penn State, so he was not available this week. Nor was Larice Nelson.
Mark, this is Stephen Brooks from 24/7 Sports. I was just curious if Matt Allen is he a long-term injury situation?
Yeah, I really don't want to get into the injury parts of that, and it's sort of an unknown right now anyway. So.
Okay. And then with LJ, could you say when you knew he was going to be good to go for Saturday, and just what you thought about what he was able to give you?
Yeah, he practiced full time this past week, and he just had been. I thought he played well. I thought he played hard. I just think that he hasn't played for 6 weeks basically. So it's a little bit out of condition in that respect, and as the weeks progress here, he's going to get back into football shape. Should be more. He should. I don't want to use the word dominant, but he should be more ready. Be more LJ.
So, Mark, the run game for Michigan State had made some progress against Penn State, facing a different level of defense yesterday. Where do you think the run game is? And do you think you can get that momentum going again? And what needs to happen for that to be accomplished, aside from just blocking the people in front of you? What did you think about what the problem was against Michigan? It's probably pretty obvious, but I'm asking you to comment on the run game yesterday.
Yeah. We got put into situations where we're in. If we didn't get pick up much on first down, we'd be in longer yardage situations, and so we were more in throwing mode, which I don't know if that serviced us very, very well. But you got to give credit to Michigan's defensive front. They're firm. They're everything they were advertised to be, and we need to block them better and stay in our blocks longer and get up to the backers more effectively and do the different things that we do. As far as maybe it's tough for me to say. What could you have done differently on those things? I guess we've run power. We ran inside zone. We ran power. We tried to get the ball to the edge a little bit. They just sort of seem to have the answers in this particular game. And as I pointed out earlier, and I pointed out to our staff, it's been in the other direction in the past. So we got to deal with that. We got to remedy the situation. Because not much fun. It's not fun. When those type of things start to happen. So you got to find an answer for it. We'll look to find those answers.
Hey, Mark, on the touchdown, the long one against Trey Person. In the past, you guys wanted corners to kind of execute an offhand jam. Have you changed that up a little bit? Did he get a little too scared of the line?
Oh, no. Can't offer up both hands. He tried to two-hand jam the guy. He got wiped. Came around in a trail position, never regained it. And then I think if he tries to stay up, maybe he can run him down and make him snap the ball again. But he opted to, tough situation. He's playing on tenths of seconds out there. But he made this attempt to try and take a shot at him, maybe a little bit too early, and it didn't get him down. But both hands got beat on the release.
So it's a teachable moment for him, sounds like, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, Mark, Chris Solari. I know with Felton's injury, is there any update on Cody, his recovery, and I guess how much more can you expect from Justin, maybe seeing him at wide receiver?
Yeah, I think Cody will be back sooner than later. When that is, I'm not going to say, but he will be back sooner than later. As far as Justin, we'll continue to try and nurse that situation along to the best of our abilities, but he's needed on defense too. So it may go into more like a situation when we used Chris Gamble when I was at Ohio State. So, but we've got to get, I think that he's got to play over there some. That's all good?
It looked like Justin Lane did get separation maybe once or twice. Would you agree with that? Was that kind of...
Yeah, I thought he did a little bit. Yeah, I thought he did. I thought he did, but you got to make, you got to either protect and make the throw or make the throw or whatever the case, but, we didn't come down with it.
How much?
Yeah. That weighs on you. Yeah. What was the question?
That was, I guess, just how much it frustrated you guys and what you saw in those plays that maybe went a little.
Well, like I said earlier, it's a combination of a lot of different things. They bracketed us coverage wise, so they doubled the slot receivers some. They bracketed the 3-man side as well. They were able to get pressure with the 4-man rush a lot, and the quarterback got moved off his his dime, basically, as I say, and the forced him to look for other people. They had him. We didn't get enough separation. The ball didn't come out quick enough at times. When we did get separation, a couple of maybe plays down the field that maybe could have been called accordingly, but I can't. I'm not going to second guess those things. But in terms of in terms of holding or not holding, I'm not going to second guess that. But the bottom line is that we didn't have, whether it was a combination of us not having the answer scheme wise, conceptually, combination of protection, combination of being off on throws, combination of not separating, combination of maybe some weather taking an effect on the game as the game progressed, when it was raining or when it was sleeting a little bit, or when it was very windy. I mean, we had all the different seasons in Michigan, I think, coming down. So there was a little of that might have blown the ball a little bit outside on a couple deep throws. So there's a lot of things going on there. So, but at the end of the day, to come up like that 0 for 12, you got to find a couple. You got to be able to move the ball down the field. You got to find a couple, and that was extremely frustrating. But again, I go back and I say, hey, this happened to other people we played for, and I'm not just pointing to this game. So we've been on the other end of the spectrum before and celebrated the fact. Now we're on this end of the spectrum. We have to endure it. So that's what we'll do. Endure it. So that's what we'll do. Endure it. So that's